there's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering there, and we pray for the families and those that we've lost. You will also notice some traffic pattern changes. Those changes are happening due to operational necessity. As equipment starts to come in, we need to provide a safe environment. Nuestros oficiales están ayudando al rescate, estamos dando soporte a los bomberos y también estamos trabajando en la área de información para la familia. Estamos rezando para las familias y también estamos haciendo cambios en la área de tráfico para poder traer los camiones y los otros equipos que necesitamos en la área. Eso es todo lo que tengo ahora. Gracias.
Thank you, Director. And now we're going to open up for questions. Please, when you're chosen, advise who you're going to have the questions directed to so we can have it organized.
Alcaldesa, por favor,
One second. Go ahead, sir.
Can I ask a question of the chief? So, Director Ramirez says that they've changed the traffic patterns because of new equipment. You're shutting down harding to the media because of equipment. Can you walk us through what equipment is coming in tonight and why it wasn't here already, why you need it now and not before?
Well, yeah, there's multiple heavy equipment, cranes that we're bringing in, different larger pieces of equipment to help remove the debris. This is a very strategic, methodical process. Again, with search, with this type of collapse, it's very extremely difficult. And so again, what we're looking for is areas of voids, possible patient survivability, and that's where we're focusing. As this equipment comes in, we'll use it to assist to move certain pieces of debris. We can't just move it all at one time. It has to be very slow processes where we're digging through, searching, shoring up certain areas, other aspects. So that's why. I mean, it doesn't come in right away. It comes in as we're going through, but we're also having that equipment, it's en route.
So we should see that tonight in use, those cranes?
I know one is being set up, so yes, we should see one. And again, I wouldn't say in use because we just have to see with our search groups and exactly what we're looking. But that asset will be there, so when we feel this is the time to use it here, then that's how we'll deploy it.
Thank you, sir.
Lopez from Sales Televisa Mexico. I'll answer in English, and if you want to answer in English and Spanish, that's fine with you, Mayor. There was reports that the Mexican search and rescue team, those locals that were interested in coming here to help and provide help, are they here? Will they be here? Are you guys considering using them? And if I can get a follow-up after the chief answers, you say that you have hope that you'll find people alive. What tangible, I don't want to say evidence, but what tangible reason you have based to have hope still after over 36 hours?
Yes. So we've received offers of help and we've accepted them, and I'm going to let the chief explain.
Yeah, so we currently have 4 task force that are operating. Florida Task Force 1, which consists of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue frontline firefighters, as well as 3 other task force from within the state that are here. We did utilize as well task force members from Mexico that are here, so we kind of incorporated them or injected them with our current task force as we go out. And with search groups, so we utilize them in different capacities.
So they're here now, they're already on.
Yes, sir. They're here and they're assisting with our task force that we go out. Based on the members, we put them with other search and rescue groups, and then that's how we deploy them during their working group, their working operation.
When did they arrive?
They came here mid-morning is when they arrived, and we deployed them at 12 o'clock. Our operational periods are 12 hours, so right now we're going from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till midnight, and then we rotate the next search and rescue crews going through. So we inject it, and then yes, there's also members from an Israel team as well that we also injected. So I don't have the exact number of staff or personnel that we're utilizing, but we are deploying them with our current search and rescue operations.
So it's just Israel and Mexico?
Yes.
And I would like to clarify that there's only a certain number of people that we can put out there, and so it isn't that we're putting out more people, it's that we're rotating them. So just to be very, very clear, we can't have people swarming all over this rubble. It has to be very, very carefully determined, and we are using the same numbers as we go forward.
Hi, Wendy Rose from USA Today. There's still a lot of concern that whether or not the building is stable, but still remaining standing is stable if it's a danger of falling on the first responders. Somebody talk about the stability of the building?
So we have structural engineers that are on site, and they're evaluating everything around because, of course, our greatest asset are our search and rescue team, our firefighters. So they cannot be taking undue risks, and part of that is evaluating the building structure as well. So if there were concern that the building was unstable, that would affect the search, but they are continuing the search at this time.
Go ahead.
Mayor, I have a question. Normally when this kind of tragedy happens, there is a pattern of like going from phase 1 to phase 2. How many hours does it normally take, and what's the next step? I mean, will you continue on the same thing of the search and rescue for tomorrow?
Yes. So we're on search and rescue. Full speed ahead on search and rescue. And you ask, why do we have hope? We have hope because that's what our search and rescue team tells us, that they have hope. They see opportunities. They see fissures that they could go in. They see places that they could break through. And as long as they can do that, and as long as they have encouraging signs like the knocking sound that they've heard, then we will continue. People have been discovered in rubble over a week beyond the date of incident. And so they have experienced that. They've been in places where they've rescued people in that period of time. And so that is why we are continuing our search and rescue.
One last question. Go ahead.
Yes,
I'll get you one.
yeah, Ryan Nelson, NBC6 News. Question for the fire chief. Earlier this evening, we saw a lot of smoke coming from the building. Could you maybe just explain why exactly we're seeing that? And does that impact the search and rescue?
Yes, it absolutely does. I mean, there's so many hazards we're encountering, and the fire just compounds it. The fire is deeply seated, deeply rooted under the structure. So you've seen it in and out, and unfortunately we keep having flare-ups of it, and it's just not accessible. So those are the difficulties. That's another challenge that we're encountering, and you know, we're constantly going in aggressively, trying to get as close as we can to extinguish that fire, but unfortunately we haven't been able to get that extinguished 100% yet.
What's burning?
Those materials is unknown. I mean, yeah, we can't see exactly what's there, so I don't know what products.
The fire is so deeply seated in the rubble. Can you approximate how hot the rubble is? Is it an area that's hot?
That area would be difficult. I mean, depending on the fire, what's there, yes. I mean, absolutely a challenge. No, you know, I'm not able to distinguish what the temperature is. It's just that it's so, you know, so deeply seated. That's the challenge there. We can't get the water, you know, right on the fire, which is what we need in that circumstance.
So in other words, it's a localized area that's on fire that we can't reach, or is it multiple?
We believe so. I mean, we believe from where we're at, it's localized to a certain area. You know, but we can't pinpoint exactly where it is because, you know, the location we, you know, unable to access it and see it.
And last question right here.
Fire chief, is there, the crews were spending a lot of time in one particular part of the debris field on like the northeast side. Is there anything you can give us with respect to details what you heard or saw that led them to release that, and what the outcome of that was?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, this is going to be constantly evolving, you know, with our searches. So any glimpse of hopes that we have, any signals that we see, that's where we want to primarily focus. This is where we've been focusing for immediately with the operation, looking for those voids. What we're seeing on the outside is, you know, just strategically we're starting to expand our search patterns and what we're looking for within the pattern. So that's why you're seeing us spread out in specific areas to do searches there.
But there was nothing specific that caught your attention there or your attention?
No, I mean, unfortunately, nothing specific. You know, we're still doing our sonars, we're still doing our cameras, still using the dogs. You know, sometimes if the dogs do pick up a scent, we might focus more on that area, but nothing specific.
Not a question, just a request. If you guys can find an alternative spot for the threats to kind of point cameras
Yes,
on.
Carlos. They're asking about an alternative site for the press.
Mayor, can I ask one more question about the people that are unaccounted for? And can you explain how, excuse me, Mayor, can you explain how the 159, how you're trying to, through the process of elimination, take some names off that list of people who might not have been in the building?
Correct. Go ahead.
Yes. We have a running list at the Family Unification Center. We're working with our 311 and also working with the families that are there, and that's how we start deducting from the list or adding from the information that we're getting from the family, from 311, from the roster of those that own the building. Also, people rented there too, so there's a lot of that as well, that ambiguity of who was renting at what time, and that's how we're running the list.
Carlos Rosario, Lieutenant with the Miami-Dade Police Department. Someone had a question regarding the locations for the press. So first I want to start off by saying that we thank all of you for being here and telling the story. This is very important for the entire community, and it really helps us tremendously in doing the fine work that we're trying to do. We talk about you every time we have our meetings, and understand that you want to be in locations that you want to tell the story and be able to tell not only through your words but through your cameras. There is some areas, for example, there was an area that we were set up earlier at that I talked to many of you, where this is an area that, as you know, there's large vehicles, machinery, large fire trucks that are trying to get through and they just couldn't. And we can't lose focus of what's really important here, and that's for our first responders to do their job. We are going to be looking for other options and other alternatives to be able to make it more comfortable for you guys. So we're going to continue to do that. The options are limited because we don't want to have you too far. As it is, the location we're at right now is pretty close. You're not at the angle from the side of the collapse. However, you have to understand the reasons why. We were there for a little while, and it just got to the point where our rescue personnel and our first responders need the space to work. But well, we have to discuss that because there's a lot of factors that come in. There's a lot of press here. This is not one or two cameras. There's hundreds of cameras here. But we are with you. We're not against you. We're definitely going to look at every option, and just follow us too on our social media channels for any further instruction. Okay? Thank you very much.
And now spokesperson for the Haitian Affairs for the Mayor, Cassandra Arnold, will be providing the Creole translation.
Bonsoir, nom c'est Cassandra Arnold, directrice d'affaires des Haïtiens pour magistrat. Magistrat voulait dire communauté à merci pour tout bagage qu'elle fait. Nous voulons connaître que nous avons des familles, nous allons manger 2 fois par jour à l'hôtel. Nous localisons 127 résidents, mais nous avons toujours besoin de joindre au moins 159 résidents. Pour rapporter au monde qui disparaît, en soi, que nous connaissons que les gens sont en bonne santé, ni en sécurité, please, s'il vous plaît, relevez-nous dans 305 614 18 19. Encore nous voulons dire merci pour toute prière, avec pour toute bagarre à faire dans la communauté. Merci.
Thank you.